Have you ever felt like you're playing an invisible game of chase with the one you love? You try to get closer, but they pull away. You want to talk, but they remain silent. You pour your heart into nurturing the relationship, but all you receive is indifference and distance. It feels like you're trying to hold on to smoke. The tighter you grasp, the more it vanishes into thin air. This is when you need to realize that in love, sometimes stepping back is the way to move forward. Just as a kite needs wind to soar, love also needs space to breathe, to grow. When you focus too much on the other person, you inadvertently create a suffocating pressure that makes them want to escape. But what if you could make them see you in a completely different light? What if, instead of focusing on them, you started focusing on yourself? Here's what you need to understand. Attraction is built on desire and thrives in the space between you and them. The distance they are creating is not a sign for you to chase. It's a golden opportunity for you to step back and create space for them to feel your absence. People don't remember what's always there, they remember what they can't have. So if they're acting distant, stop trying to close the gap. Let them feel it. Let them sit in the silence. You are not the one who should be chasing, you are the one they should be pursuing. Understand this clearly, you deserve to be pursued, you are the prize here. Whether this is someone new testing the waters or an old flame who thinks the grass is greener on the other side, they need to understand one thing: you are not sitting around waiting for them to realize how amazing you are. If they're distant, let them be. If they ignore you, let them sit with that decision. Because the minute you stop trying so hard, that's when they start to wonder what happened to the person they thought would always be there. Think about it. Would you prefer a bird that's always confined to a cage, or one that freely soars in the sky? Similarly, in love, everyone craves freedom and independence. When you give them their space, they will feel respected and appreciate the relationship more. Don't misunderstand stepping back as giving up or being indifferent. It's a way of showing confidence in yourself and your love. It's a way of showing them that you don't depend on them, that you have your own life, and that you can be perfectly happy with or without them. And when you truly step back, you'll be surprised by what happens. They will start to notice your absence, realize your value, and maybe they will be the ones who actively approach you. Remember, in love, mystery and distance are sometimes the most powerful catalysts. There are 7 small, but powerful, steps that you need to take to truly reclaim your power, rebuild your self-belief, and make them realize what they've lost. This is not just a strategy to deal with being ignored. It's a journey of self-discovery and self-improvement. So stick with me, because this is just the beginning. You don't want to miss this. Now, before we dive deeper, go ahead and hit the like button below this video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and together we'll embark on this transformational journey. Number 1. Burying despair, mastering your emotions. In the midst of the storm of silence and distance, when your messages go unanswered and your calls are met with the endless beep of despair, what is your first reaction? Panic? Anxiety? A desperate attempt to cling on at any cost? This is a completely natural human response when faced with the fear of abandonment and being forgotten. But this very despair is a double-edged sword, both causing you pain and pushing the other person further away. Imagine yourself as a bird trapped in a cage. The more you struggle, the more desperately you seek to escape, the more you get hurt and exhausted. Similarly, in love, despair only makes you less attractive in the eyes of the other person. It emits negative energy, an emotional neediness that no one wants to be around. People are often attracted to those who are confident, strong, and capable of controlling their emotions. Therefore, the first and most important step to turn the tables when being ignored is bury the despair. In other words, it's about mastering your emotions, not letting anxiety and fear dictate your actions. But don't rush to send more pleading messages, don't constantly call to check up on them, and don't try to force an encounter. Instead, take the time to calm down, look at the problem objectively, and find truly effective solutions. Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." In this case, your craving for their attention is the poverty that Seneca refers to. It keeps you in a state of lack, insecurity, and vulnerability. Remember, you are an independent individual with your own worth. Your happiness should not depend on anyone else, not even the person you love. Buring despair does not mean suppressing your emotions. You have every right to feel sad, disappointed, or angry. But instead of letting those emotions control your actions, learn to observe them, accept them, and find ways to transform them positively. Focus on what you can control, such as taking care of yourself, developing other relationships, or pursuing your passions. Remember, the more you show strength, calmness, and self-control, the more charming and attractive you become in the eyes of others. And who knows, your strange disappearance might be the key to turning the tables, making them curious and prompting them to seek you out. Number 2, disappearing into silence, a strategic retreat. There are times in love when we feel like we are lost in a vast desert, yearning for a drop of water from the eyes and words of our beloved. But the only response is a terrifying silence, as if there is an insurmountable distance between the two of you. Being ignored, you flounder like a boat lost at sea. Every time the phone remains silent, your heart tightens, and the feeling of being abandoned and forgotten torments your mind. But right now, instead of screaming, instead of clinging on in vain, try a new and wiser approach: disappear into silence. Don't misunderstand disappearing into silence as passively enduring or escaping reality. It's a way to choose to love yourself more, a way to bravely face negative emotions and overcome them with your own inner strength. When you stop communicating, stop chasing after hopeless responses, you are freeing yourself from the shackles of dependence and longing. Imagine yourself as a butterfly struggling in a net. The more you try to escape, the more entangled you become. But when you actively disappear, the net will open by itself, and you will be free to fly in the vast sky. Your silence will be like a jolt, making them startled and look back. They will begin to feel your absence, realize that you are no longer there to listen, share, and care as before. Curiosity and perhaps the fear of loss will make them actively seek you out, wanting to know what is going on. Imagine yourself as a mirror, always reflecting their image. But when you disappear, they will only see themselves in it, and they will have to ask, where is their image? Disappearing into silence is also an opportunity for you to touch the silence in your mind. Listen to the voice of your heart, and realize that true happiness does not lie in dependence on others, but in yourself. This is the time to focus on self-improvement, pursue passions, build meaningful relationships, and become the best version of yourself. Turn silence into your secret weapon, a silent power that no one can stop. When you know how to disappear at the right time, you will make them search, regret, and yearn for you more than ever. Number 3, mastering your reactions, the power of self-control. In the midst of a storm of chaotic emotions, when surrounded by ignorance, you can easily lose your mind and act in despair. You want to cling, to beg, to do anything to get them back. But stop for a moment, take a deep breath, and remember, calmness and confidence are the real strengths that will help you weather the storm, the key to turning the tables. Understanding yourself is the first step to understanding others. When you are aware of your own emotions, thoughts, and motivations, you will be able to empathize and understand others better. This is especially important in love. When you are ignored, instead of indulging in hurt and blame, try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Maybe they are facing difficulties and pressures in life, or they simply need time to think and reassess the relationship. Don't turn yourself into a moth flying into a flame. The more you chase, the more you cling, the further you push them away. Like a bird struggling in a cage, the more you try to escape, the more entangled you become. Love is the same. Sometimes letting go is the way to hold on. Silence is the most powerful voice. Know yourself, know your enemy, and you will win 100 battles. Sun Tzu's saying is not only true in the art of war, but also in love. When you understand yourself well, you will know how to control your emotions, act wisely, and not get carried away by negative thoughts. At the same time, you will also have a more forgiving view of the other person, easily forgive their mistakes, and find ways to mend the relationship. Remember, each of us is an independent individual with our own thoughts, feelings, and experiences. No one can fully understand another person, but when we actively open our hearts, actively seek to understand and empathize, we will build stronger and happier relationships. Number 4. The power of mystery, intrigue, and allure. In the game of love, when faced with silence and distance, do you dare to become an enigma? Not by hiding or deceiving, but by summoning the power of mystery, sparking curiosity and making them seek you out. When ignored, your instinct is to explain, to say everything to make them understand. But try a different approach. Let your silence speak for itself. Don't rush to reveal everything about yourself. Keep a little mystery, a little unpredictability. Imagine yourself as a book they've never read. Each page turned is a surprise, an attraction. You don't need to say it all. Let your actions tell the story. The change in you, the focus on your own life, the calmness and confidence will make them curious, wanting to explore and learn more about you. They will start to wonder, why have they changed? What made them more attractive? Have I missed something? And that's when they truly realize your value. As Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote, "Every man likes a mystery. Mystery evokes curiosity, making people want to explore, to conquer." In love, mystery is also a powerful weapon, helping you create attraction and make them fall for you. Start with small changes. Change your style of dress. Pursue a new hobby. Join a social activity. Let them see that you are living a colorful and meaningful life without needing them. Don't focus too much on getting their attention. Focus on self-development. When you become better, more attractive, they will automatically be attracted to you. Remember, mystery is not about being fake or hiding, but about expressing your self-worth in a subtle and attractive way. Number 5. Reverse psychology, taking back control. When ignored, you feel hurt, disregarded, and your instinct is to react, to demand justice. But try a new and more subtle strategy. Use reverse psychology. Simply put, it's fighting fire with fire, ignoring them back so they can feel exactly what you're going through. Research from the journal Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin shows that people tend to crave what they can't have. When you are easily accessible, always willing to accept being ignored, they will take you for granted. But when you ignore them back, they will start to feel lack, become curious, and want to find out why. Reverse psychology is not a child's game. It's a way to show strength, independence, and emotional control. It shows that you don't depend on the attention of others, you have your own life, and you are perfectly fine without them. Imagine yourself as a phone being charged. When you are always ready for them to use, they will never realize your value. But when you turn off, they will start to worry, find ways to connect and charge you. However, when using reverse psychology, you need to be skillful and subtle. Don't turn it into a game of revenge or punishment. Show ignorance naturally and gently, as if you are truly focused on other more important things. Continue to live your life, pursue your passions, meet friends, and take care of yourself. Show them that you are still fine, and even better off without them. Your ignorance will make them think, reassess the relationship, and maybe they will be the one to actively come back to you. Number 6. The secret of freedom in love, detachment from outcomes. In love, we easily fall into the trap of expectations and clinging. We expect the other person to reciprocate our feelings. We expect words of love and gestures of care. And when those expectations are not met, we feel disappointed, hurt, even desperate. But there is a secret that few people know. True happiness lies not in how others treat us, but in our own ability to detach from outcomes. Detaching from outcomes does not mean being indifferent or insensitive. It is a way to protect your heart from unnecessary hurt, a way to mature and take control of your life. When you no longer cling to outcomes, you will no longer fear rejection, no longer worry about whether the other person will reciprocate your feelings. You will be free to love, free to give without expecting anything in return. Imagine yourself as a wildflower, still stretching to spread its fragrance whether anyone is watching or not. Your value does not depend on the judgment of others, nor does your happiness. When you accept all outcomes, you will find peace in your soul, even if there are storms outside. As Marcus Aurelius, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When you detach from outcomes, you are choosing to focus on what you can control, which is yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Remember, love is only a part of life, not all of it. Don't let your happiness depend on someone else. Love yourself, take care of your soul, and pursue your passions. When you become strong and independent, you will attract good things to you, including true love. Number 7. The paradox of desire, letting go to find true happiness. Amidst the noise of life, amidst expectations and pressure from others, do you dare to live true to yourself? Do you dare to break away from invisible expectations to find happiness from within? From birth, we are surrounded by expectations. Parents expect us to study well. Friends expect us to be sociable. Society expects us to be successful. And in love, too, we expect the other person to love, care for, and share with us. But the truth is, no one has an obligation to meet our expectations, and our happiness should not depend on external validation. Imagine yourself as an oak tree in a green forest, strong and resilient even if the wind blows. Your strength does not lie in compliments, nor in the recognition of others, but in your strong roots, in your core values within you. When you live true to yourself, you will radiate a strong attraction, attracting those who truly appreciate your true self. Don't try to be someone that others want you to be. Be yourself with all your strengths and weaknesses. Focus on your own path, pursue your passions, and improve yourself every day. When you are confident and strong, you will no longer beg for attention, but you will be the one that others seek after. As Steve Jobs once said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Write your own story, create your own value, and remember, true happiness is within your reach, not in anyone else.